Hello and welcome to episode number 255 of the Armin Show podcast. Video, audio, all the technology. Who do we have on this episode in person?
My name is Michael Wilt.
Michael Wilt in the building. MW.
Yes.
An M flipped is a W.
That is true. Yes. That's one of the nice things about having my initials. I can do this or that.
Oh, anytime.
Right? Yeah.
You're the reciprocal of yourself.
Yes.
I just thought of all that
maybe,
right
yes.
now. This is none of this before the episode.
I like that.
That's some good stuff right there.
That is some good stuff.
Michael, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I go in so many directions in my mind. So, one, you exist, okay?
Yes.
What do you currently... Oh, let me include the moment first, because tone deafness is not something I do in 2020, okay? Maybe in 2019, 2018, all the years before. Currently, there is a pandemic, okay?
There is a pandemic.
Let's bring joy to the episode here. Pandemic. Okay? Now, obviously, I just got back from a 40-person party where we were all just moshing on top of each other. Joke.
Lots of hugs, right?
Lots of hugs. But speaking of that, I have a somewhat scientific mathematical mind. You might have a mathematical mind. Have you thought of this pandemic in any mathematical terms? And what connection do you have to math and or the educational system?
Oh, that's several questions.
I have to do so many all
Yeah.
at once. What's your favorite color?
Blue, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like blue. Teal. Teal.
For you, teal?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like teal too.
Oh, cool. Cyan. Also.
Wait, is that also teal?
Teal, cyan, aquamarine, turquoise. This quattro is a great group. They're all different.
They all sound like the same color.
They're
to me,
so
though.
similar, but they're different. Like you see, oh, this is FFOO3E on Photoshop, but this one's their code number thing.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you on that one.
I don't know if it's actually that number. I just made up the thing, but they have the 6 alphanumeric code.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am a teacher. I am a teacher of mathematics.
Don't look at them; they don't exist.
Oh, okay.
I just realized that.
Don't they need to exist for you to be viewed?
But it doesn't make sense. In that form.
Gotcha. My profile's better anyway, so.
Oh snap! Okay. Yeah, me too.
All right. So I'm a teacher of mathematics.
How long have you been a teacher?
Too long now. Like 10-ish years, since 2009, I think, full time.
Great.
I was a sub before that.
Great.
Yeah. I teach mathematics. I guess I would call myself a mathematician.
Mm-hmm.
I have a master's degree in applied math.
Great. How early along did you like math in your existence? Like, when were you like, I'm different in this category?
Right. I don't know. Well, honestly, I don't think I really liked math in like grade school or high school. Like, I was good at it, but I never was like, oh, this is the thing that I really want to study because it's so awesome. It wasn't until after I graduated from undergrad the first time that I got into math. So I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life when I was in college, and I kind of like moved around in majors a lot. I was a chemistry major. I got to organic chemistry, and I literally stood up in the middle of a lecture, like the second course in the series of 3, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, you stood up and left?
Literally, yeah. I literally stood. I looked at the person sitting next to me, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. And I left the lecture and went to my advisor, dropped the course, and changed my major. Like, literally all in one day.
Organic chemistry is often called the weed out class. That moment is built into the course for some. It's supposed to be like, do you want to go in this direction? Do you want to go in this? It's a very dividing class.
I know, yeah.
Divisional. So you went the other direction.
I went the other direction, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went towards electrical engineering.
No, usually the other direction is the zoology or something like basket weaving.
Yes.
You didn't do that.
Actually, they don't have basket weaving in Ohio State. They have underwater basket weaving.
Oh, okay. Because over water would be too much.
It's not specific enough. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
Oh, guys.
You're not the only one with jokes.
I got a bunch.
Oh.
Hey, why did the penguin cross the road?
Because he was friends with a chicken.
Oh, that's good too. To get to the Shell station.
I don't know.
No, not penguin. Turtle. Oh, shoot. You get it? So that was a good one.
Yeah. Why did the unicorn cross the road?
To get your mugs, obviously, from mugs and stuff.
Yes.
Was it? No, unicornsandstuff.com.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
I have actually a set of mugs that's like got jokes on them, like different unicorn jokes, and one of them's like knock knock, who's there, and the punchline is like the unicorn who didn't finish his morning coffee or something. So like each of the jokes kind of progresses the story of the unicorn who doesn't finish his coffee. Oh, the first one was like, did you hear the one about the unicorn who didn't finish his coffee? And the punchline is, of course you didn't. There were no survivors. Because if he didn't have his coffee, he was really angry and took it out on everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a dark humor.
Oh, shoot. Dark humor. I know some people like that. Also, I didn't... Because coffee is necessary.
Right.
To live.
So what were we talking about? We were talking about...
Well, before we go back to it, I want to mention... This is one thing that just came to my mind. This is one of the most banter-like episodes I've had. People love banter. Way more than somehow my normal, regular form.
Right.
So this is a good... You know, this sounds more like a podcast than 96% of my episodes.
Awesome.
So that's good. I noticed that, you know, because I've listened to some of like the comedy podcasts or other ones.
Right.
This is way more similar to them than most of my episodes.
Lots of back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
More lighthearted, quick moving, and it's less like a library and more like a improv,
nice
stage kind of thing.
Oh, so we're like the Gilmore Girls.
Are they?
Did you ever watch that
They're
show?
solid. Yeah, they're great. They're like,
where they like talk fast.
Oh, they're the best. Hey, I went to school and I just want to get back. I want to talk to the guy and he's told me that this, but I don't know about this. Should I tell him this? I don't know about this. Yeah, but
and they drink coffee. They drink coffee.
Sometimes
right.
Drink coffee with a bunch of bugs. I couldn't believe it. And I told them I was like, I was crazy. And then they told me to call me back, and I called them back and it's like, hey, do you want to send me an email? I sent an email, so but I didn't get a text. I didn't get a text back.
Did they have email in the late? When was this show on? The 90s? The
1954.
2000s? No,
right after the Great Depression.
False.
Yeah, I really should do historical stuff. Throw that in there. Back in 1812, when the United States was created, right? I built this table.
IKEA built this table.
Yeah. So also mine. Returning to your mathematicianness.
Right. Yes, that's right. So I was telling you about organic chemistry, and then
you exited that.
I exited that. I went to electrical engineering. And I also I didn't really care for the experience I had. I had a run-in with a faculty member where I worked full-time in undergrad too. I waited tables, and I also went to school full-time, and I tried to sit in the front of the classes most of the time.
This is completely unrelated, and I have to just throw it in. Imagine if you actually put tables on like a weighing machine and you weighted tables. Throwing that in there. Like, oh, this is 28 kilograms. What'd you do for years? I weighted tables. Nobody would know the difference. I had to throw that in there.
No, you're right. I'm going to try to come back to that later.
Okay.
But I waited tables, and I fell asleep in this guy's lecture of like 300 people, and he like called me out in front of everybody, like, what are you doing falling asleep in my lecture? Like, I studied under Bose, Bose, like the sound. Yeah.
Oh,
like
cool.
With the stores everywhere and the speakers or whatever.
They do great bass.
They do. Yeah. Well, he studied under that guy. Like he was like his student.
Whoa.
How dare you fall asleep in my lecture? And I was like, maybe if you were a little bit more exciting, I wouldn't have fallen asleep.
Shoot.
I didn't say that because I was scared. Maybe if I was me now, me now might have said that to him, but me then would not have said that to him.
No.
And I was like super embarrassed. And so
do you ever think about that, by the way? Like your level of responsiveness today versus it's often that way. It's like, I wouldn't have done it then, but now I would. And then your standards are this, and then your standards are this. Do you ever think about that? Like how different it would be if you went back and you were like, no, this is actually my standard. Does that like fast forward your life because you get to places quicker?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really stand up for myself a lot back then, but I do more now. And
Good.
I would have like taken it to the nth degree. I would have went to his boss and complained too, because that was inappropriate. Calling out a kid and like he didn't know my story. You know what I mean?
And that's a message for life. One other guy on the internet says that nobody knows your story. Even the people closest to you know a chunk of your story, but you know your story.
Right.
Everybody else only knows a percentage.
And I was like, and I would have been like, okay, this was not appropriate. Like, you need to be told that was wrong by somebody who's of authority.
Superiors out there.
Exactly. But anyways, at that time, I didn't stand up for myself. I was humiliated. I didn't come back to class. I ended up failing class. So, and it was like too late to drop.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been taking German courses throughout my undergrad. Because when I started at Ohio State, I tested into like the second year courses. I took AP German in high school, and so I'd been taking.
Das ist gut.
Das ist gut, ja.
Das ist sehr gut.
Jawohl, das ist sehr gut.
Guten afternoon.
I don't remember the word for afternoon.
Tag? No?
That means day. Guten Tag. Guten. Hallo.
Abend.
Gruß, in the South, they say Gruß Gott.
Gruß Gott.
Gruß Gott.
Uh-huh.
Like greetings to God, or I don't know, something like that.
Or Scottish
Gott.
People. Oh, Gott.
Gott. G-O-T-T.
Gott.
Gott.
I got to go to the store.
Yes.
Uh-huh. One
So-
of the 5 places you can go right now.
Right. Only the ones that let you in.
Right.
Too.
Welcome aboard.
Right. Oh
Good.
God.
Enjoy the like second, third brand beans.
Right? Is that, or no? They make you, people get the off-brand first, and then you're left with all of like the name brands. Like everything in my
I see.
refrigerator is like the super high name brand stuff. Like,
Only Lindt chocolate.
I guess
That's
like,
it. Only unicorns and stuff brand mugs. Only, by the way, I didn't even announce it. Armin Show shirts not available anywhere.
I can sell them on my website.
Look, unicorns and stuff.
.com.
Clearly not a unicorn. Clearly a stuff.
Yes, it is part of the stuff.
The thing is, though, it's so specific to. You have to have my name and basically my show.
Right. Yeah.
But it would be a. I'll talk with my marketing team, which is basically me. We'll check on it.
Your people will call my people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first my own people, which is me. It's a lot of just writing to myself, I guess. It's a marketing group function. You don't even understand. We're big. It's a big facility. There's me. There's my superior with me.
Your higher self.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We bring it in.
Sounds like a good team.
Yeah, it's like 4 of us, which is me. So now
Which one am I talking to right now?
You're talking to the third. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're talking to the third one.
Okay.
And if anything goes wrong, I'm telling my superior.
So with the German,
Yes.
so I was studying German, or I'd studied German all along, and I decided that I was just going to get a degree in it because I had already taken all these courses, so it just made more sense. And I still didn't have like a career path though. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I always had looked up to my teachers because they always knew everything and were just super smart. And I mean, who doesn't want to be super smart and know everything, right?
True that.
So
Books, research papers, resources.
Obviously, I had a teacher in high school.
Me too.
Yes, we all did, right? Her name was Shirley Scott.
Uh-huh.
She was like one of my favorite teachers in high school, and I was like, well, how come I tested into like second year German if she must have been a great teacher? And I was also interested in the subject, like I was always interested in languages, but she was also a really good teacher. So I found where she went to school to become a teacher, and I was like, I'm going to go there too because I want to be a great teacher like her.
Right.
And so I'd already taken all these math and science courses in undergrad, and I was like, well, Ohio needs math teachers. So I'm from Ohio, by the way.
Ohio represent.
Woo, woo. Oh.
It is in the Midwest. I am a fan of Midwestern folks.
I get all these like Ohio State presents from my family. Like this is an Ohio State Rubik's Cube.
This is a Sudoku, as it's called.
This is a Rubik's Cube.
It's a Rubik's Cube.
Sudoku is different.
I know it's different. Okay, go. Hi, I'm Michael Wilt. And I have cards also.
So I went to this college, Otterbein College.
Otterbein?
Otterbein. Yeah, it's in Westerville.
Great.
That's where I met Christy.
How do you say Otterbein?
Otterbein.
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 Oh, that's what I thought it was. They pronounced it differently after that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're in where? What's the city again?
Westerville, which is a suburb of Columbus.
Okay. Christy,
And-
past guest.
Was she?
I don't remember what episode.
Oh, okay. So I went to Otterbein with her, and I took this like intro to math liberal arts course, and it was just mind blowing how different they were teaching math versus how I learned it in the past. It was a lot of like rote memorization, lots of like procedural things versus problem solving, understanding the history in the context of all of this, and seeing how math has developed over time. And that just totally changed the way that I thought about the subject. And I was like, this is the subject that I have to teach, mathematics. So
right.
I finished that in like 3 years. I got another bachelor's degree and a teaching credential, and I started working full time at a charter school in Columbus called Focus Learning Academy.
Okay.
And so this is so my whole career I've worked with really interesting populations of students, and so this was the first one. It was so these are urban, it's a really highly urban population. Like, I'm gonna just pull a number out of the thin air here. It was
64.
Okay,
86,
well, no, higher than that.
22.
It was like 90. Let's say 95% African American students, right?
I'm gonna throw in there. My first tutoring that I did was in South Central Los Angeles with District, and that was my most non-similar to my current tutoring that I do. It was like District. It was similar to what you're describing.
Yeah. So it's, they
didn't have books sometimes.
Right. So I grew up in rural Ohio, where it was like a majority of white people.
Yeah.
Like Christian, all of this, and so coming to Columbus and having the diversity there was just
shock factors 4003.
Totally outside of my comfort zone, and like, wow, what is this? So working in an urban school with a high population of Black students was just like a great new experience for me.
Different folks.
And so we had the population that we dealt with was mostly students who were in jail before. We had a lot of kids who had been in juvenile detention. A lot of kids who had families already. So I think we served students up to the age of 21, and they had come back after dropping out from public school to get a diploma with us. And our curriculum was all online. And we sat in labs, in computer labs, and I was basically like a tutor, where I'd walk around and like let them, give them support on whatever they were learning on the videos. And
Michael, known to be supportive, just saying.
Right. And sometimes I would do like pullouts and do like direct instruction with them too, but most of it was online. So I worked there for 2 years. Then I moved to Arizona to get another experience. I worked in Kingman, Arizona. Have you heard of Kingman?
I probably flew over it in my recent second flight ever, which when I came back, I saw Phoenix, I'm pretty sure, at night. What it looked like. It was a big city.
Okay.
Yeah, Kingman?
Kingman, yeah.
Kingman.
It's on the 40. So it's actually on Route 66, too.
The famous Route 66, like a road.
Yes. Like when you drive on the 40, like it parallels Route 66 in a lot of places when you're driving west, and you see it's just like on cars where they have all those like abandoned trucks and whatever in the middle of the desert. It's totally crazy. And Kingman, so when I moved there, the principal told me that a lot of times people will come to Kingman just like they're on their way to California, and then their cars break down in Kingman and they just stay there.
That's inspiring.
Kind of.
That's the people you want in your city. Like, they just ended up here. It wasn't their plan. They didn't really want it to occur.
Yeah, I mean, it led to an interesting population of people. I think in Kingman there's 1 or 2 either state or federal prisons, which like most of the people who like their families worked at the prisons. The highest employers in this town were, I think, the hospital, the school district, and maybe the prison.
It's common in places.
I'd have to check on the computer.
They're all disconnected, and mine's on airplane mode.
So I worked in Kingman for a year. They did not want me to leave. They offered me, so they were opening a new school in their district, and they offered me this job at the new high school to start the Cambridge math program. The
cool.
Cambridge University in England.
Yeah.
Right. They do this international program with schools where they provide you with curriculum, and at the end of the program, your students take a test, and then based on the test, it's sort of like AP. I think that you either get like a special diploma or you get college credit. I can't remember all the specifics, but
details, Michael.
They want it.
The world's gonna break down.
I don't think the world cares about that, right?
Every single detail.
Maybe. I wonder how they're doing that online, by the way.
Everything now on Zoom. Every single thing in the world now on Zoom.
Zoom High School.
Zoom High School.
Zoom Middle School.
I'm going there.
You
No,
are.
I'm providing there. I'm there. I am it.
You
People are going to me.
But right, same.
Who is it?
I don't know.
No, I'm it. Like,
you're
they're
it.
going to me. It. So.
Okay, so back to all right. So Kingman, I was there. I left to go back to grad school because I had this idea for a long time about this problem that we have in education with measuring outcomes, right?
Outcome dependent.
Right. We're so focused on like how things turn out. A lot of times we forget to focus on the procedure and like what's all the like fun, juicy things in between.
Process along the way.
Yeah, the process along the way. That's a good way of saying it. And so I had this idea, but I didn't know how to put it into like what I wanted it to say, like the mathematics behind it, right? I mean, I had a bachelor's degree, but I wanted to learn more about math to put down this problem in a way that made sense
but
mathematically.
There was no way beyond a bachelor's degree to learn more about math, or was there, Michael?
Right. So I went to grad school.
Oh my gosh.
I applied at Cal State LA.
Nice.
And I was in that program. I did it. So I ended up being in it for 3 years.
Okay.
Because you have to take tests for the degree, or you have to do a research paper. And I wanted, or like a thesis.
Thesis.
Right? So I wanted to do the thesis, but then I was discouraged by my advisor to do the thesis because my GPA was like a 0.1 or 2 below like what their whatever was, and sometimes they would make exceptions, but she was really discouraging.
Is it just me, or every single time I hear about an advisor or some sort of counselor, it's almost always like they thought I couldn't do this, and they said you could. Every single time I hear a story, it's never like they believed in me and said something. There's something there.
Yeah.
I've never heard a story where it was like they propelled me forward.
Right.
It's more like, nah, this isn't for you.
Right. Well, I don't know if she was like trained in the social emotional piece of advising, because she was like a graph theorist or whatever, and she
logarithmic and exponential.
No, graph theory is different in math. So like the graph that you think of about like plotting points and looking at functions.
My favorite graph.
Graph theory in mathematics is more abstract. It's like about, like networking.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bunch of dots with lines between the dots. That's what graphs are.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's really fascinating.
Okay.
A lot of like applications for like the internet are like scheduling is another one that graph theory is good on.
Probably seen it before and can't recognize it until I look at it.
There's a really neat problem in graph theory called the Four-Color Theorem, or the Four-Color Conjecture.
There's a game based on that, if it's what I'm thinking of, like if you color, and then they can't touch.
Yeah.
Oh, great game. I forgot where I got that.
I can't remember the exact formulation of it, but it's that like you can color a map with at least 4 colors where none of the colors are touching each other, which is like really fascinating
and made for a great game. I once played.
Nice.
It was so fun. I never found it since then. Yeah.
Do you remember the title of it?
No, but it was like color match or something. And then you'd go across, and then you try to get these big bubbles, and I don't remember what. Great games.
Nice.
Great games.
You'll have to remember that.
I don't play games anymore. I can't enjoy them.
Oh, that's sad.
But at that time, it was great. Colors.
So I was in grad school.
Let me check the video while you're continuing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, continue?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in grad school. Is it good?
Yeah, I always like to check the whole thing. You never know.
Oh, okay. So I was in grad school. I finished that after 3 years. I got a job teaching again. Part of the reason I went to grad school was to get out of education, but not in like out of like the classroom, right? Like, I mean, I liked being in the classroom, but I wanted to do more things involving policy and like how I can support teachers and like the operational side of schools versus like the actual front lines of like being in the classroom.
Yep.
Because like I'm a problem solver, and a lot of times administrators in schools aren't math people or problem solvers necessarily.
Nope.
So like I have a really good view of the micro and the macro.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's would make me a good
Oh yeah, both
administrator.
ends. Good.
Yeah, I can see the big picture and I can see the details.
Some people cannot see the big picture.
Yeah, totally. I mean, trust me.
Have you had experience with that? Huh?
But I decided to go back into teaching, and I started working in independent schools.
Mm-hmm.
One of the faculty members in grad school, who was kind of a better advisor than my advisor, was like, if you have a master's degree in math, the independent schools eat that up. They love, and if you have teaching experience, that's even better. Like you could find a job really easily. And I had like so many interviews after that, and so I ended up going to this school in San Francisco called Alta Vista School, and I taught middle school.
Oh, cool.
5th and 6th grade.
In San Francisco?
In San Francisco, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I worked there for a year, and I developed their curriculum.
You sure did.
I sure did, yeah.
That's cool.
They wanted like a project-based, hands-on curriculum that was, like it would build up to algebra or higher for kids. And they started middle school in the 5th grade. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but at the time the plan was to start middle school in the 5th grade. So we had 5th and 6th graders that we called middle schoolers. And
right.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're still using the curriculum I created. Last time I checked, they were, which was recently. So
this is a good message for life. Very few people are creating the blueprint for anything. So if you make one, or if you start something, it's likely it goes on for a long time. I haven't created a curriculum almost ever. I've tutored a bunch of students, hundreds.
Yeah.
You're the basis.
The what?
You're the basis.
The basis.
At least for there.
Yeah, that's a math term, by the way, too.
True
Basis.
that. Is it? Yeah,
it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, like in linear algebra.
Shout outs to linear algebra.
Shout outs to linear algebra.
That was my last one.
A shout out to linear algebra?
No, that was the last math I took.
Oh, linear okay. Algebra. Did you take differential equations?
Sure did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which did you like better?
I don't remember. I barely remember taking them. But I've tutored for years and years in math. At that time, it was different. I didn't get it. Like, why am I... Most of my schooling, I didn't get the priority of, like, why do I have to do all the thing? Like, I'm already going in that direction.
Right, yeah.
I guess they didn't see that.
Well, I think that's the failure a lot in education, where we don't necessarily, especially in math, we don't give you a context for why you're learning it.
Right. Not that. Well, that affects a lot of people, too, actually. That affects way more people. Mine is just like, I was like, I'm going to like science and math for my existence, right? Why am I not just, like, moving along? Why am I not... I didn't get it, really. So sometimes I wouldn't do homework and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like... Anyway, now I talk to the top scientists in the world, so shout outs to that.
Nice.
Good.
Where were we?
We were talking about basis, and before that we were talking about you creating curriculum in a school.
Curriculum. Okay, yeah.
And where you've taken that.
So now, after that, I decided to come back to LA.
Great.
San Francisco was... I didn't really like
No?
it. No, yeah. I mean...
What's one of the worst things about San Francisco from a previous San Franciscan night?
I think a lot of people in San Francisco are pretentious.
Take that, city.
But like not in the way that people in LA are pretentious.
Oh yeah, it's different.
It's a different.
I've
yeah.
gotten a sense of it.
Like people in San Francisco, they're really well-meaning about things, but at the same time, it's all for status. I feel
sure is.
They're like, oh, I'm gonna go do this charity event tonight, and like, look at how charitable I am because like I'm just such a great person. And like people
building yourself up in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's all about like what degree you have, or what like how much intellectual prowess you have, or what accomplishments you've got academically, right? In LA, the pretentiousness is more about like how do you look, what things do you do, and I'm like, which would I rather compete with? And like, or no, I guess maybe not compete with, but like I'd rather be around pretty people than smart people, I guess.
I thought about
that. No, maybe.
That's pretty good. I mean, it just depends. It's a preference. I thought, because you would like that. When I thought about it, I like the average personality in San Francisco more than Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But they're both big cities. So there's still lots of people. Usually a small minority I can connect with.
I mean, in defense of San Francisco, because I worked so much when I was there, I didn't really get out into the city, and I made like 0 friends.
Oh, 0.
Other than like my coworkers.
Let me check my math graph here. Oh, 0. That's basically nothing.
Yes. So, I mean, that was partially my fault for not really jiving with the city, but...
Let me throw that in there because I've socialized more than anybody in Los Angeles. Did you ever reach out to people in public or talk to strangers or no?
I didn't really go in public a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm friendly to people, but I don't really make an effort to be like, oh, hey, friend, how's it going? No, I'm really sense. Like reserved and I'm an introvert.
No big deal on the 80,000 missed opportunities in your lifetime. No problem there.
Yeah, I guess I keep a small circle of people close, and then I just let everybody else, gravitate around me when they need to. And
pretty smooth.
I mean, it's not like I'm not avoiding them. It's more just like for my own sanity.
Right.
I need to keep. I'm like sensitive to the way that other people think and feel, and it tends to overwhelm me because sometimes I can't tell the difference between how somebody else is feeling and how I'm feeling. And like if somebody is feeling like anger or like extreme manic, whatever, I internalize that and I'm like, so I have to put up that boundary.
Yes.
To avoid, which, I mean, it's probably something I should learn to manage better, but.
Here's how I do it, Michael.
Oh.
I look at it like I'm a walking plus sign, right?
Okay.
So I can't do wrong in the scenario. And if there's what looks like stupid coming towards me, I just don't absorb it. Because it has nothing to do with me. I'm like, great. And then I continue to be a walking plus sign. And every time it's been accurate, years on years, and it just keeps getting better and better. I just don't, it's not connected to me. And actually, even like, cold or things that have been negative over the years, that was just themselves reflecting on themselves.
Right.
Had nothing to do with me.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. I'm kind of like a mirror for people too. Whenever they feed me, can I swear?
Let's see. We had a thing where we did, and then we didn't. Did I put it on clean? You know what, Michael? Go ahead.
I'll say BS. Whenever they give me their BS, I have a tendency to like.
You probably could have
reflect that back to them. Like
it's the person.
It's this person dependent.
It's not connected to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, you're a moron. Is that more about you or me? Hey, Michael, this. I don't know your whole existence.
Right. Exactly. Well, so the thing is when people feed that to me, I tend to like feed it back to them. And so if it's a good thing and I feed that back to them, boom, then they like me, right?
Yep.
But if it's a bad thing
Symbiosis.
and I feed that back to them, then they're like, ooh, this is something I don't like about myself, but they don't realize necessarily it's about them, and then they don't like me.
That's true. And additionally to that, one way I like to think about it is diffusion. So let's say you're in a great state and the other person is not in as great of a state.
Right.
You can't possibly interact with them without you feeling worse off and them feeling better off, even though it might come across negatively.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's just diffusion.
Right.
So I feel like I like to get up here and hand it out like a plus sign. Of course, it's going to feel a little bit, but that's my shout-out gift,
Good for you.
I'm handing it out.
Good for you.
That person's better off later. They won't tell you. They never tell you. That's the thing. They might be like, hey, you moron. But 4 hours later, like, they're happier because they got to, like, put it on you or
down.
something.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to be happy, go for it.
Right. Yeah.
Life's so simple, it's ridiculous.
You're right. It's a boundary thing, actually.
If I die from COVID-19, you'll know I was great until then. Who can say that?
Well, I mean, so technically, the statistics were
Not that I'm inviting that.
81% of people don't even exhibit symptoms according to the Chinese data. I can look this up actually. This is really interesting.
Oh, he's using the internet, which is unbelievable.
So the news had this on.
He has a phone cover like me too.
The Chinese data is really fascinating because they, obviously have a lot more experience.
We need to know this one.
So the majority of
this is on the pandemic news. Okay, updates, which I will be discussing probably more often in upcoming material because it is current. Go ahead.
80.9% of people have mild symptoms. Yeah, which and so the highest symptoms, like percentage wise, are fever, cough, and myalgia or arthralgia. That just means like swollen swollen joints or sore muscles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like those are the 3 big indicators that you might be infected.
Mm-hmm.
But if 81% of people's symptoms aren't that much, like you're not going to really know.
You will not.
But you could still carry the virus.
Right. This is true.
Are you drawing any similarities to this in like a zombie apocalypse movie?
I don't watch movies, but I know about them. I really pretty much know. But I didn't even need to throw that in there, by the way, because I know what they are. So that's just me trying to mention that I don't watch movies much, because I didn't actually connect to your thing. But yes, it is kind of like those.
Yeah.
But I always feel like anytime something like this shows up, we were already in it. Like, it takes reality for people to see reality. If you talked to me 6 months ago, I could have told you things off with society that now are more, showcased. But
sure,
like, we're glad that China's nitrous oxide levels have gone up again, showing that they're back in production and their country is booming again. That's a good sign that we're polluting the air again. What?
Oh, right.
No,
yeah.
you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, we're back to work. Doing what? We're not that great at Earth, So
right, yeah.
Let's get everybody back on the machine.
Well, there's some people who are saying that this virus is a result of us polluting the Earth because it's I forget the name of this kind of. I mean, so coronavirus, first of all,
this is the 7th one.
This is the 7th coronavirus out of the 7.
SARS,
the newest one.
MERS.
SARS and MERS are 2 other ones, and they've attacked your lungs, right?
Yep.
So this virus is something to do with the fact that it comes from animals. So it's transferred to us from animals. Right. And people are saying that because we are just going into places and just like taking over whatever, land is there, or like
everywhere we go.
Right? That's what we conquer.
Yeah, no, I took this table.
Manifest
it's
destiny
my table now.
At its finest.
Good
apparently.
luck eating on it now, Michael.
Well, so they're saying that this virus is a result of us doing that. And, like the fact that people are just going to go back and continue to pollute the
That's the
earth
hope.
and make it.
The hope is that we go back to polluting.
But I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I think that this should be a wake-up call for us that, first of all, we're totally underprepared for anything like this to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, so flattening, what flattening the curve means?
Yeah, I know all the details.
Yeah. So basically it doesn't mean that that less people are going to become infected. It means that the rate at which people become infected is lower. So
more manageable for the hospitals.
More manageable for the hospitals, but also it means that the same number of people are going to be infected. It's just going to take longer.
Right.
So which means we're going to be in quarantine for a really long time.
Love that quarantine.
Well, so here's the other thing too. Quarantine actually is not what we're doing right now. I think this is well, actually, we're not quarantining because
screw you, man.
We're social distancing. We should be a little bit farther apart. But
are you still in the thing?
I think so.
Like everything for the shot, okay.
But social distancing, right, is what you're doing when you stay home. It's not necessarily quarantining. Is if you have been exposed to the virus or if you're infected with the virus. Right. So people are misusing that term, I guess.
That's true.
According to the news,
we're gonna kill terms one by one.
How dare we?
We're good at that. Well, I'm not.
Well, as a mathematician, I'm super
You're not too.
meticulous about
detail-oriented.
definitions and terms.
So it turned out you were detail-oriented the whole time.
Yes. Well, it's something I try to hide.
Oh, this is a good one. I like to check once in a while. What are 3 words you would use to describe yourself?
Oh, man.
Challenge out of nowhere. Love these ones.
Yeah. I feel
3 words you identify with the most. Adjectives.
3 adjectives. Goofy.
Goofy.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like to be goofy, lighthearted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say that's so hard. In the moment. I would say I'm calm.
Calm.
Yeah, I feel calm right now.
Mm-hmm. You know what? You're cool, which is also called rad. So right now you're my calm rad.
I like that was a dad joke. That was
screw you, man.
Awesome.
I'll tell my 7 children about that one.
I don't know, open-hearted. I like to be, inclusive and make sure everybody's okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Not suffering. Does that make sense?
That's great. It's pretty warm.
I mean, but at the same time, I'm also kind of a hard ass. I think.
What do you mean?
like tough love. Like I think tough love is important just
Mm-hmm.
as much as being like gentle and calm. And like some people just need to be like told like shut up.
Hey, correct your posture, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, get on that.
Like,
What you want, a spine
he
that's
knows tough
bent?
love. You know tough love.
You like bent spine?
Right. Some people just need like brutal honesty.
Why don't you just grow up, man?
Right. Not in a way that, but like
Right,
not in a way that
right.
makes them feel bad, but
Right.
like here's the honest situation, friend. Like you
Right.
need to hear this and like stop sugarcoating whatever it is. You're just in denial. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So like when if I approach teaching, like I either am real, I like to give tough love, or I will be really gentle. It just depends on the person. Like if that person needs tough love, that they're gonna get tough love.
Right.
If they need a little bit more gentleness, and I'll be, oh, it's okay. Let's work on this next time. It'll be better.
Very adaptive.
But then other people, it's not what they need.
Right. At that moment.
At that moment, yeah. So
That's true. Out of nowhere, I want to throw out, what is your who? Not what. Who has been your biggest inspiration or hero
oh wow.
that comes to mind?
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
Yeah, Walt Disney. I like that. Walt Disney took nothing and made it into something, and he believed that nothing was impossible if you could imagine it. And the way that his company has developed and evolved is just a testament to that. I mean, like, look at the things they do in those parks. Like, you're literally in a different world when you're there, and it's like fantasy come to life. And he's also detail oriented. Like if you're in the haunted mansion and it breaks down, and like they'll literally play you like, oh, there must be some scary ghouls that have gotten into the whatever, and
Dang.
they don't just say, oh, sorry, we're broken down. Like they make it part of the show,
Right.
And so like to me that just speaks volumes about how I operate. When like it's all about the what is it? Some things in the details. Everything's in the details. What's the exact phrase?
It's in the details.
Right, whatever. The proof is in the details, or
The pudding is in the proof.
how does the proof get in the pudding?
Well, it is mixed in. It's a recipe.
Where I did, does it come before or after like the milk?
The cinnamon. Cinnamon's a great spice.
All right.
I haven't made pudding. Okay. So stop showing off. Okay, what are we in
Is it
San
like a
Francisco
British-
now? I made pudding for my charity. Okay. They had a great time when I just hosted the Fergana, and I did it with my colleagues who are all professors at Oxford.
Nice.
And I live in some main popular street in a big place.
Nice.
I am in San Francisco. I am a great success.
And you listen to KQED?
I listen to Kekud. And then now I'm transitioning to Los Angeles. I am a model. And I am popular in the modeling space, so I am top here.
Good
also,
for you.
I'm a socialite and
Brains.
know people.
Brains and looks.
That.
Yeah.
And people and some sort of view of
Here-
the city.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that
turns
some
it around
people,
on me.
Why is it that some people think that you can't be pretty and smart?
I'll tell you why. Well, I mean, the baseline thing is that the pretty shuts off the brain that would think of the person. It's like a automatic this equals this. So then well, there's two parts. There's the automatic thought process, and then there's the if you were, there'd be less pressure on you to be smarter. What? Huh? Unbelievable. What are your thoughts?
I wasn't following.
Okay, too many things I'll say. And so, say the question again?
Why do some people not think that you can be both pretty and smart?
One answer that's potentially there is that they might think if you were pretty, you would not have had. I don't know if they would think this in depth, but I'll just put it on them as though they are.
Who, the pretty people or the smart people?
The default individual would think that the pretty person. Actually, the default person would not think this. I'm putting my thoughts on the average person, but maybe did not have as much pressure over the years to be as smart because everything was more here. You're pretty.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And maybe there wasn't as much of that pressure. Or maybe they would want it to not be that way because it's disturbing if somebody's pretty and smart. It might be too much for that person to handle internally. Like, oh, man, I got screwed.
That's not fair to
Something.
me.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think I agree with you. Yeah, I think that a lot of times it's like maybe a jealousy thing, like where it's people who are really smart just automatically assume pretty people aren't smart. for whatever reason, because they, like you said, they had to have worked for their smartness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it wasn't something that was born into them. And
also more details. Some things like maybe a bigger forehead or certain features that might be connected to. There's facial features connected to stuff that is in the brain.
Really?
There's some links to stuff. I've talked about this before. It always gets some shock factor, but like, I feel like there's some links between, like,
What you feel like, or there's science to show that?
I'll leave this one alone. Yeah, I'm gonna go with, I feel like that there's certain, like, you have pathways in your body that cause you to have a longer nose or longer this or that. Those same things would code for more whatever prefrontal cortex development or something. I don't know. There's no link. Really? They're separate completely?
I mean, maybe that could be. It could. You'd have to have a good hypothesis to test.
I got no hypothesis, but I'll just say that you just mentioned is common. That it would be thought someone's pretty, so they put them less on the intelligence potential.
Yeah, which is not fair to pretty people.
True that. And so obviously, when I had my third modeling contract for being pretty, they said, look, this is going to affect your scientific and mathematical reputation in the public. I was like, it's all right.
I'm willing to take that.
Yeah.
That sacrifice.
So I got the yes. So I just work with that.
Nice. Good for you.
You are able to sing.
Oh,
so,
well, I mean,
I will start first. I will sing something.
Okay.
And then you sing something after. But obviously it should be me first because of my professional singing ability.
Are we going to do like you start the song and then I finish the song, or is it like did you see that movie Pitch Perfect where they do like the singing battle? Oh, that's
Michael,
right.
It's more 2 hours long.
So there's this movie called Pitch Perfect about this group of girls who were in college. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was in the sequel. I don't remember. Anyway, so like the group of girls is an a cappella group.
Yeah.
And they do like a sing off against other a cappella groups, and they're like throwing down tunes at each other. It's like the funniest thing.
Okay.
And they have some kind of a wheel that determines what the topic of the throwdown is. And
boom, I got it. We're doing a sing off, wrap off. Okay. I'm gonna sing, then you're gonna sing. Well, I don't sing, tough guy. So I'm gonna sing. You sing.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna rap. Then you're gonna rap.
Okay.
All right. And then audience, you'll be the judge, but I'll just pretend I won. So, and then sing whatever is your whatever comes to mind. No, hey, it's me first.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Hey. Clicks off microphone too. Click. How do I pause that? All right. Should I do? It's tough because I have so much vocal ability. Obviously, This is episode 254. My vocal ability I haven't sung any episodes really, except for one or two.
Do you need to do vocal warm-ups?
I'll do an arm stretch. Okay. All right, ready to go. You didn't see that on the audio, but I just did it. I raised my hand like it was a classroom. So, I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. All right, Michael. Singing.
Can you give me a song to sing?
The song to sing is the one that you would do in a karaoke place.
Oh, okay. So do you know the Righteous Brothers?
Is that DMX? No.
Oh no. Okay, so I was just about to ask you if you saw the movie Ghost, but clearly you haven't.
I didn't see Ghost, Michael. If it's not the Social Network,
right?
The Sixth Sense, Men in Black, Independence Day. There's like 10 movies.
Okay, so there's a movie called Ghost, starring Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, and Whoopi Goldberg is also there. And there's a scene, because Patrick Swayze had died in the movie. Mm-hmm. So this is before he died. There's a scene where they're like, Demi Moore's character for some reason is sculpting on a wheel, and Patrick Swayze like comes up behind her and starts to sculpt with her, and it turns into this like really romantic love scene or whatever. And this is like right before his character dies.
Yeah.
And the song by the Righteous Brothers, it's like, oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. And time time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
Yeah, mediocre. I think mine was pretty good. Mine was pretty good when I did the one earlier.
There's like 2 more verses or whatever, but I don't want to.
Maybe take a course.
What?
Maybe take a course like for singing. You'll get there.
I did. I took vocal lessons.
Yeah.
And I was like in choir in high school.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the things that I regret from like my whole education. When I was at Ohio State, my last semester there or quarter there, I had to like take an extra course to like keep financial aid, and so I ended up taking the university band class. And when I was in school, I was a musician. In high school, I was a musician, and I played like all the instruments in the band. My main instrument was the trombone, and I tried out for the university band, and I got second chair.
Oh,
out of like all these kids who had been doing the band for however long, and I had not picked up my horn in like 4 years.
Oh,
and I was like, second chair,
right.
What's up?
Boom,
like,
right there.
Yeah, boom. And everybody was like, where have you been?
Where you been, man?
Yeah. And I was like, sorry, this is my last quarter here. Bye, you guys.
Peace be with you.
So like I came in, I played, and I was done.
Oh.
But I regretted. But the point was, I regretted not continuing doing music throughout my education because, I mean, in that you just like get such a sense of community with musicians. You know, like musicians are, you know, like they're competitive, but they're also really like communal. You know, and
it's a group.
I missed that after not having done it for so long, and then doing it. I'm like, oh man, like I really missed out doing this, and so
it's a very important life message extended outwardly. Do the thing, because I've mentioned this before. When you're 80, all you get to do is look back and be like, look what I didn't do.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And it's not funny. But when you're 40 or 20 or 50 or 30 or 12, whatever, do the thing. Offend the person. Make the whatever it is. Just go, because then you can be afterwards like, oh, that was that's fine. Could have been this. Could have been changed this, altered. But if you didn't do it, you're just sitting there like why was I here?
A schlub. Is that a word? Schlub? Schlum?
Shaloob. And now that obviously I destroyed you on the singing, it will do the rap part. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously that part, you know, they're gonna be like, Armin did better. But the rap is you still have a chance.
Okay.
To catch up.
Okay.
Should I pull up a beat? No. There's no way I'm gonna pull up a beat while it's recording. Okay. I'm doing this to Mike's beat. He's handed it to me because I'm rapping elementary. Who is this MC? It's Armin. Armin Show. Got the shirt with it. It's not one of his stops. Not to be wishing that I had his company on my hands. It's something and stuff. I do the dance. It's unicorns and stuff. It's the .com place. You can go over there and download on that space. He set it up on the internet. He's a marketing expert. He's like, Armin, you got the tart space in your mind with it. Spend it out. Knock it out. And I'm eating it. And I got the mindset. Michael Wilt over here with the rhyme set.
Hey.
Altered form right there. Now,
nice.
So it's all right. You know what I'm saying? All right.
We did pretty
now I'm
good
going to
job
give
there.
you a beat.
Oh, man.
And try and compete with some of those things I said weren't even word. So good luck.
Okay.
All right. And so this is, part 2, Michael.
I'm sitting here with Armin, looking at the microphone and drinking coffee out of my mug. I have a computer in front of me now. I'm touching my cell phone because it's alone. I'm hungry. I need food. I'm hungry. I need food. What do I eat? What do I want? I want some chicken or a sandwich maybe. Because food. Okay, word.
Food word. So obviously I took that one.
You did.
So I guess it's 2-0. But Michael, the important thing is that you try it and believe in yourself. Okay.
Yes. Self-confidence. I've gained that over.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you think of something and it's you envision, not even envision, you just believe that, think that, you are that.
Yeah.
It goes. That's it.
Right.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow.
Hey, I just had a thought. Can I tell you about what I'm doing now? Like where I'm working now? I don't think we ever got to that.
Let's do it. Michael, where are you working now?
Right. I am working at I work at a school called Bridges Academy.
Okay.
And we have, and this goes back to my whole like wanting to have different experiences with different populations. We have a population of students called twice exceptional.
Okay.
And that, so what does that mean? It means that these students have been identified as being gifted or talented or having some really unique interest, but also having some kind of learning challenges. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we have in the high school where I work, about 50% of the students who've reported a diagnosis of ADHD, mm-hmm. And we have about 30% of the students who've reported a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. So it's a very challenging population to work with. Lots of delay in the like social emotional piece of life. A lot of times some of these kids can't necessarily read social cues, and it's interesting to see how they react to, you know, whatever we're trying to teach them or whatever they're going through in their life. So yeah, it's a fun and interesting job to be at.
Twice exceptional.
Yes.
Not just the first time.
No. They're we call the population 2E.
Oh, that's good.
Like are you familiar, you know, like the normal distribution?
True that.
Curve,
mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're looking
66%, 95%, 99.7%.
Right. So
3 standard deviation.
Right. Cheers to that. That's a good math lesson there.
You know what I'm saying? Cups from the unicorns.
So basically they've been given some kind of like tests, you know, and they'll identify like 2 standard deviations above the average in some area and 2 standard deviations below the average in some other area. So there are outliers in both, mm-hmm. You know, one of those things.
Right.
We usually give them a neuropsych exam too. I'm
Big Five? No? MBTI? Big Five? Is it one of those?
Maybe.
Cool.
So something like working memory is one of them, and
maybe different. Yeah.
Spatial awareness,
different.
or I'm not.
Cool.
I don't remember exactly. I'm not an expert in that.
He's an expert
area.
in that. No. Send all questions to expert Michael. Okay.
No, we have administrators who are experts in all those things that handle all that. I'm a math expert.
Right.
So.
I like math a lot. I've liked math for a long time. I like science a bit more because it goes into multiple fields.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like the neuroscience, and there's even economics. Good old economics
right.
is also a great field that's somewhat connected off of science.
I prefer how did you pronounce it? Economics. I like economics.
Yeah. Economics is great, right?
Yeah.
Michael. There's 2 parts to me. One part, I branch off. I have like 400 topics, right?
Okay.
No. Okay.
I didn't notice that.
Can you believe it? This mind goes. But then the same part, I'm supposed to structure things in some form, which is unbelievable. And it's wrong. Okay? It's wrong.
Well, hey, you know, we have a path that we're going down, and we can go over here and explore a little bit, then come back to the path, and then go over here and explore, and then come back. And
yeah.
We eventually get to the destination.
Is there even a destination? Oh, turns out there was none this whole time in the reality that we all live in. Everybody was just kind of rolling. The destination was never a thing, kind of like you said, the process. Or we both said the process earlier. Right. The process is the relevant part. It's the only part. The other part doesn't make sense. Let's say tomorrow I get the quote thing. You get the thing, whatever the thing is that's over there, and you got it.
Right.
Now what? Whoop-de-doo. You're a human that stopped. You pause now. You don't need to use any more frontal cortex. You're done.
I try to avoid that as much as possible anyways.
Oh, really? I'm trying to use it a lot. Okay, me and Mike are completely opposed.
Right. Just kidding.
Me and my PFC were like this. We're really close. Michael. So, if there's anything other stuff, that is for a potential future episode, okay? Because I, for some reason, maintain certain lengths now. I once had an episode, by the way, just to say, which was my longest one ever, It was 2 hours. Okay.
Oh wow. How long are we on now?
1.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So that was double this. Okay.
Right.
And that was also one of the more bantery episodes.
Okay.
Okay. But because I've had a certain framework and I'm doing this consistency thing, that's why I'm keeping it at a certain range. But my normal self, I'd go until you were like, Armin, I gotta something.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a thing. I gotta email or
Well,
whatever.
you have me until 2, so.
Yeah, well, you have me until when you said hello. I'm kidding. It's pretty good. Roasted.
I thought you didn't watch movies.
Oh, we got to do one of these roasting session,
You've
okay?
seen- Oh yeah, that's
All right.
fun.
Go hard, Michael. Okay, I'm invincible.
Oh, we're doing it now?
Yeah, right now. It's a quick one, but let's do it. Okay.
Oh man, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
You can use that to roast me.
You probably aren't good at this. So that's boom.
Boom, you win.
Hey, you like blue? I thought you liked blue. This shirt is
Right.
it almost says gray blue. It's not full blue.
Oh.
Where's your color
Speaking
sense?
of gray, nice gray in your hair, friend.
Hey, thanks for
No,
complimenting.
actually, I like that. The gray in your hair.
My wisdom.
Your wisdom.
Thanks
yeah.
for complimenting my wisdom.
Right.
Hey, I see you're doing rolled up sleeves things, which is really popular on the internet for some reason. Whenever there's a post about what makes people,
Really?
yeah, oh, Jesus Christ, the amount of things that comment on that. But I
Roll
guess
up
you need
sleeves?
it. Yeah.
I like to keep it comfy and casual.
No, this is exactly what's like the best look according to people on the internet.
Really?
Like
Like your viewers or?
no, like when there's internet threads about like what makes an individual, maybe a guy, look great, it's rolled up sleeves.
Oh, good to
But
know. Like-
boom, here comes the roast. I didn't need to do it. I'm looking great. This is not a rolled up sleeve. Of course you would need it, Michael. Makes sense. Use every sort of crutch that you can.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nice microphone. Did your mom get that for you? I don't. That wasn't good.
No, Michael, she did not get it for me. Also, the nicer one is for the guest,
Oh yeah, thank you.
and I got it. So it's almost a compliment to me.
Oh
I
wait,
got it
so
on
wait,
my own.
wait. Nice microphone. Did you get that at Goodwill? Is that better?
Look, I got it at Good Wilt, which is the place for things that are just breaking apart. Or wait a minute, what's your last name again?
It's Wilt.
Oh, huh. Hey, if I had a flower I just got from the nursery and they said, hey, this will wilt. Oh, gosh, I'd return that flower quickly.
Right.
And that's your last name.
Right. That is my last name.
Oh,
I have this uncomfortable like thought in my head where I've do you watch TV?
not much.
Did you ever watch the show 30 Rock?
No, but I know it exists.
Okay, so the main character on 30 Rock is named Liz Lemon.
Uh-huh.
And she's this like sour, like kind of surly person
Uh-huh.
who's just always like, no,
Ah.
right? Like Kathy, like the comic strip Kathy.
Ah.
Right? They always make a lot of jokes comparing her to that.
Oh.
But sometimes I feel like my life parallels hers in that whole like, I get a lot of moments, right? And she, her name is Liz Lemon, right?
Uh-huh.
Which goes along with like lemon, sour, like,
Right.
Okay.
They
And
made
so
it real simple there.
right. And my name is Michael Wilt. And I'm like, I have a name similar to Liz Lemon, like Wilt being like,
Right.
right. So I always have this really paranoid fear that like my life is just a sitcom, like in a parallel reality
Uh-huh.
to everybody else.
Oh, I would assist so much in your sitcom. I show up. Hey, so
Right.
we're at the table again. Hey, you want some pizza? Get a piece of pizza.
You'd be like the Kramer. That's what I picture you as, like the Kramer. Like,
Sort of.
did you watch Seinfeld?
Yeah, I saw
okay,
some of it. He's
Like the kooky neighbor.
yeah, I'm like him, but not kooky, and also just way more just amazing. I show up and it's like, oh great, the day is good again.
Armin's here.
Yeah.
We can start the day.
Finally.
Finally.
It's like the sun.
The sun didn't actually come out until you got here.
Huh.
Like it got bright out.
I sent it
after.
an email.
It was supposed to rain today, and now it's like bright on the patio out there.
Well, look at that.
Thanks to Armin.
I don't want to say that I have a universal effect, but me and universal remotes get along pretty well. So I have also a universal effect. Now, the roasting session is ended, okay?
Okay.
But I want to throw in one, because people tend to like this part for some reason quite a bit. Ask the host a question kind of thing. Hi, it's me, the host. Do you have any questions that you're curious of from your end? Because people seem to like this way more than
Than the other way around.
People are a big fan of doing the reverse interview. I've noticed a few times, so I'm just throwing it in. If you have a question, if you don't, that's okay.
So, well, tell me about.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
No, go ahead.
I hear that every day.
No.
What's your favorite kind of math? You tutor students. What kind of math do you like?
I like two of them. So geometry for all the visuals and the variety there.
Yeah.
It's more you see stuff and graphs and whatnot, and then like straight algebra and manipulating equations and such.
Yeah.
Those two.
Okay, I like
easy.
geometry too. That's fun. I feel like we're doing that. Did you ever hear of the like list of questions that you're supposed to ask somebody on a date to make them fall in love with you?
Right. Like, hey, what's your favorite parallelogram? What's your favorite quadrilateral?
You think people?
It was a rhombus. No, go ahead.
You think people actually ask that on first dates?
Yeah, hey, so I noticed you like parallelograms, huh?
Right,
okay. You do. Go ahead.
That's a deal breaker. Like, sorry. Oh no, I like quad. Did you say rhombuses is your favorite?
Rhombus.
Oh wait, no. Then we're perfect. Sorry, I only like rectangles.
That's it.
So
you need everything all prim proper.
Trapezoids too.
Oh, trapezoids
I can
are
go
okay.
for trapezoids, but
Do they have to be isosceles?
No.
Oh, good. You got a little bit.
I like to play it on the wild side.
Nice. What was the dating question?
I don't remember. I was gonna look it up, but like I don't need to do that.
Like, hey, what's your favorite politics religion?
Well, I mean, it's always like they're like, how many siblings do you have? Like, tell me about your family. Like, where'd you grow up? Like, where'd you grow up?
Oh, is that the question?
Yeah, that's the question.
So, Mike, I was born, and then we came to the United States from Iran, where I was born.
Oh,
I'm so
okay.
cultured, it's ridiculous.
Are you part Persian too?
I am Persian Armenian.
Okay.
I represent so much of this earth, it's unbelievable. And culture, and humanity, and I'm humble.
So, go ahead.
I'm just humble. Go ahead.
Well, the question then I
grew up in Los Angeles. They're like near
in Glendale?
Placenta, which is Glendale, yeah.
Okay.
And Ventura County, too.
You're Armenian from Glendale.
And Ventura.
Because
we moved back and forth.
Oh, okay.
So it's both.
Gotcha.
I represented 2 counties all at once. I was able to do that.
Well, tell me I know that there are a lot of Armenians in Iran, right? So
There's some.
There's some
in Syria, there's some in Russia, some in Georgia, some in France, some past guests Gary and Casper are they're born in France, but they're Lebanese Armenian. There's Lebanese Armenians.
Gotcha.
They went all over the place.
So you're not like purely like, so Armenians that live in different countries aren't purely Armenian. I've never understood this. Like Armenian, so
like the background is Armenian.
So it's like an ethnic background, or is it like do you have Persian blood?
No, I don't think so.
So you're just Armenian from Iran versus.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's the best way to describe it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I know some people, like I worked in Glendale. I worked at Glendale Community College, right? So I had a lot of Armenian students.
GCC. I went there 1 year.
And some students would be like, "Oh, I'm Armenian this or Armenian that." I'm like, does that mean that you're like, you were born in Iran and you have like Armenian and Persian blood, or are you of like, how do you say that? Like you're descended from Armenian and Persian people, or
you know better than me. But I was born in Iran, but I don't have any like direct Persian culture. But I'd be Persian Armenian.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then, when did you come to the?
I was here at age 2.
At age 2.
Yeah, so I brought all the culture that I had adapted over those 2 years, the people I had met, the conversations I've had, the project that I worked on, the decisions I'd made.
Gotcha.
I brought that all to here at the age of 2, after in traveling the world by the age of 2. I ran to Germany for a year and a half. I was in Iran only 2 months. Germany like a year and a half. Then New York for a day on the way to here.
So why
traveled
Germany?
The world.
Is that because you needed to get to the United States? I feel like I had
my relational entity who created me, one of them.
So your parents.
One. Worked at a factory in Germany known as Volkswagen, and we were there.
Oh, okay. And then you came to the States after
like at around age 2.
So why did they decide the US instead of Germany? Where in Germany?
Wherever the Volkswagen factory was, I believe either near Hamburg or Frankfurt. I really should have more detail on this. I was near 2. Okay, I don't recall exactly what I was doing at 18 months.
I think there might be one in Munich too. I don't know.
We were not near Munich, I think. We were not near Munich. I remember it was like Hamburg or Frankfurt, one of those 2.
Gotcha. And then
Maybe
you came
Wolfsburg.
directly to LA?
Well, we stopped off in New York, which
Well,
for the
right.
first time I ever returned to was just, 34 years later, very recently. So it just took me 34 years to get back to New York, which is great. The story continues.
Nice. And then you lived in Glendale. Where did you? And then you lived in Ventura County.
Mm-hmm. La Crescenta and Ventura.
Oh, okay.
La Crescenta is the upper part of it.
So like La Crescenta is behind the hill, right?
It is behind the hill, above the hill, I guess.
Okay. Is there like a
North of.
So La Crescenta that's just a neighborhood in Glendale, right?
It's an unincorporated region of Glendale.
Gotcha.
And it's not like what people think of Glendale because it's kind of separate. It's not the same. They just feel different. Glendale is like you're boom, and La Crescenta is like it's kind of a hill and you're just away from things.
I like there's
There's
like a
freeway, everybody's favorite. No,
the two freeway goes up there, but then what's that part of town that's like in La Crescenta?
Montrose.
Yeah, I like Montrose.
Who doesn't like Montrose?
All those like cute little shops and whatever.
It is slowed down, small, and Montrose.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's also in Glendale. It's also an unincorporated part of Glendale.
I guess it's kind of. I think of it as part of La Crescenta.
So it's an unincorporated part of an unincorporated part.
It's so unincorporated, it's ridiculous. You can't even build a corporation there. It's not allowed. You're like, I want to build a corporation there. They're like, first you better incorporate La Crescenta, then we'll talk.
Are all the foothill communities like that, or are any of them cities?
I have no clue, but Tahunga might be Sunland. I don't know. La Cañada is. Look, if I kept track of every sort of designation thing that has nothing to do with like when you walk by a tree, it's just a tree. But then there's like a designation. This is a zoning thing. This is a commercial thing. This is a thing.
Gotcha.
It's still a tree in a building. Tree in a building. And that's my story. That I came here, and then boom, I've been here, and then I went to UCSB, and then, as the future of our nation, I have to have my story down. So I'll work on that one.
Right.
I have a relatively good
Here's a question.
description of it.
If you were to run for government office, what would it be?
Leader of the Nation would be the title, but they don't have that. So one time, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but one time at an improv thing, I was with somebody, and they asked her, what her name was, and then they asked me, and I was like, I'm the future of our nation. And they were just looking for what's your name, And then for the next 2 minutes, they were like, did he just say he's the future of our nation? They included that in the bit. But not really much. Obviously, I don't have the right, I'm not the right elements for a political office. You're not supposed to be this direct. Politics is more like management sort of thing and managing people and different layers of people and what people can understand at different levels. And I don't do that. I just say stuff like, Mike, this shirt, some comment. So it's very direct.
I also comment this shirt.
Right.
This shirt is so comment.
Yes. As a politician, you're supposed to pay attention to each person's needs and sort of they're not offending this group and this. I don't. That's completely opposite. To me. I would offend all 8 groups and then go play soccer, football.
So then,
soccer.
No, you wouldn't run for politics.
It just doesn't fit,
Gotcha. What's your favorite kind of cheese?
Yeah, Asiago. Look, I was McCheese. I played a game. I've mentioned this before. I played Uniball online, a game on the internet for many years, like a space hockey game. I was McCheese. My squad name was actually called Cheese. I had 54 members at the peak, including members like EDO and Swiss and Tacitus, which sounded like a disease, but that was his name.
Right.
And
that's a cheese?
No, they didn't all have to be cheese. There's 54 people. Some of them had their own names from their own stuff that they made up.
There aren't 54 cheeses.
One was CGSTD.
See, I would have been so detail-oriented to be like, no, we all have to be named after cheeses or you can't be in my group.
I'm Asiago. What? Oh, I get what you're saying.
Because,
yeah, good point.
I like blue cheese.
I didn't want to change
or
everybody's.
Feta.
Because we invited people who were other people from other squads or they just played. Oh. They joined.
Nice.
But if we were just us, we also once, at some point, a year later, got the member who was named Cheese. We got that guy. He joined. So his name was Cheese and Andre was Squad Cheese. So when he played in the game, he'd have boom.
Cheese.
Both of those. Yes.
Cheese, Squad Cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice.
But Asiago, what would be yours?
I like feta cheese. I like blue cheese. I like all. I mean, you can't go wrong with cheese. Come on.
No, that's true.
There's no bad cheese.
I mean, yeah, blue cheese smells off,
but it tastes amazing.
Okay, fine then. What an odd person.
The more smelly the cheese, the better it tastes.
Okay, we're not. I mean, who are you? And do you
that's in math. We call that an what is it? An inverse
relationship.
Relationship.
Boom. Love those.
Yeah.
Just used one the other day.
The smellier it is, the better it tastes. Wait, no, that's a direct relationship.
That would be direct. But if we were talking about like the less smelly it is, the more
tasty,
good it tastes.
Right.
That would be.
But that's a lie. It's not the less smelly. It's the more smelly, the better it tastes. That is the direct relationship.
As X increases, Y increases.
Yes.
Michael, what is now this last part? It can be either. No, you've got enough questions about me. No more questions about me.
Okay, fine.
For this closing part, I would like to ask you, what is? Let's see if we've covered everything. Well, did we cover everything about the pandemic? There's a pandemic. Okay.
There is a pandemic. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. In short, how do you? Oh, this one. How do you feel about it? Are you all right?
How do I feel about it? I mean, like, I'm ready for it to be over, to be honest with you.
Well, wait 18 months. What else?
Oh my God. 18 months.
I'm kidding. I don't know exactly.
I mean, on one hand, like, I understand why people have to stay at home to flatten the curve, like we talked about. And I mean, but at the same, okay, so how do I feel about it? I think that this is a really good opportunity for the human race to come together, even though we have to stay separate. But, this is just a way for us to work towards a common goal, whether it's to like, diminish the rate of infection or to get rid of the disease. Like, do you know anything about what they're doing to like try to get rid of the disease?
They have like 5 different, I've looked at so many. They're using certain drugs. They're looking at certain drug targets. They're trying out vaccines in a clinical trial.
Yeah, well, so basically, like I saw this thing on the news by one of the Chinese doctors. One of the strategies is to target like the protein receptors on the virus,
the wonderful
and like how they attach to our cells and manipulate how that works. And the other
crowns.
So the way that they're really looking towards getting rid of the virus is in the production of it. So viruses, my understanding is they go into your healthy cells and they use your healthy cells to reproduce.
Yes.
Right. So they're looking at a way to get rid of the virus factory. So then my thinking would be that that's altering the way your cells work versus altering the way that the virus works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that maybe that's not the best strategy, but that's what the people who are doing this are focusing on. It's like, oh, we're going to change the way the cell works. To me, that's a little terrifying because it's like we don't know what the long-term effects of that would be, because maybe that would make you more susceptible to other like viruses in the future if you're turning, I don't know, maybe, or maybe it would, I don't know. I don't know enough about.
He is
how
a professional
this works.
expert. Take exactly what he said. Use it. You'll be better. You'll be better.
All
tomorrow.
I'm saying is that it's something that we should consider. That it might, maybe the long-term effects of that might be worse. It might be worse in the long run to change the virus production in our cells or whatever. But anyways, I'm not an expert, and that's a topic for the experts.
Okay, we just found out he's not an expert. Never mind.
On that, I can talk to you about the math behind it.
Right.
So how do I feel? I think it's an opportunity for us. Like one thing I was thinking is like now people are going to be at home. They're going to have to start doing, and it's spring, so they're going to have to start doing some spring cleaning anyways. So this is going to be an opportunity for people to just like totally clear some space in their homes and like, declutter, which is, I mean, you can clearly see I need to do some of that here too. Like
decluttering.
Well, this to me is clutter. Like this is my, welcome home. Here's your inbox and your outbox. I put my wallet there and like.
Let me see how clearly it shows up on the video.
Oh Lord.
Does it show up clearly? It's sort of there.
Okay, well, so anyways, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to declutter, an opportunity for us to like hang out with our families, but like most importantly, people tend to focus on like the outside so much, as far as like what am I wearing, what am I doing, I think it's an opportunity for us to like look inside and think about how we can change ourselves as people, and when we come out of it, how we can be better at interacting with each other, and how we can appreciate that more, and how we can be better with interacting with the world and appreciate that more. Because I think, like I said before, that's a lot of the reason that this is going on. We've decimated the earth to a certain extent, and now the earth is fighting back at us and saying, nope, stay at home.
Counterforce.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's concerning that we're going to lose a lot of people to the virus. But I mean, it's a lot of people who already have pre-existing ailments. Like one of the things that I looked at.
Emphysema, COPD.
Yeah. Did I take a picture of that?
Being 93.
Chart? Yeah. So it says here the risk of coronavirus to those with pre-existing conditions. So it's showing the percent of with other serious ailments who die. Cardiovascular disease is the number one there.
Yeah.
10.5 people. 10.5% of people who have cardiovascular disease as a pre-existing condition in the Chinese data have died from the virus, which doesn't seem. I mean, that's a lot of the 10% of the population. If like you looked at 10% of how many people are on Earth, like 7 billion,
7.8, I believe.
So I mean, I need to use a calculator.
780 million.
780. Like, look at that. You see, I'm a master's level mathematician, and you don't ask us to do arithmetic.
That's true. You're on next step.
Right.
You use symbols that I look at. Like, what are these symbols?
That's an insult. Please don't ask me to add numbers together.
4 times 7.
So 780 million people, right? Potentially, who have. I mean.
Well, no, that's 10% of the people on the Earth.
That's 10% of the people on the Earth, right? That's
but
not 10% of the people.
But 10% of people to get it.
That get it, yeah. So, however many people would get it, like
10% of them have cardiovascular issues that cause a worse condition.
Well, 10% of the people who have cardiovascular issues, of the people who will be infected.
10% of my viewers just died trying to process.
That's actually the third highest pre-existing condition is watching your podcast.
Yeah, the Armin show, sure. I wanted to point out, this is one thing I just got to go back to from earlier. You have done more marketing of a product than I've done on 255 episodes. I just realized. So,
do you have a merch line?
No, I won't. Probably by episode 400. We're gonna throw out the merch
I would be
line.
happy to host your merch line on my website.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
It'll be we'll have laptops. There'll be $5,000 laptops that I will charge $5,000 one for. So I will take one, and you'll get a.
I was thinking
I'm good at business.
Armin Show T-shirts and.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine having an Armin Show mug that you could be like, "Welcome to the Armin Show," and you could do the thing that we did with clinking and.
Yeah, but as we know, you took the last 2 mugs on Earth, so I don't know. I'll figure out. The mug would be nice, though. That's a good point. I'll think about it. So that's not bad.
Do you want me to tell you the diabetes?
No more of the conditions. We're throwing them off with the percent.
Okay, fine.
Michael,
fine.
What is one last message you would want to tell all people who are listening about, like if you had a megaphone to the people of the Earth?
Yeah.
What would you want them to know or take into account?
About what's happening now?
Like that represents you as a person. Something like that you would want to say to all 7.8 billion people that represents something you'd want them to know, how you'd want them to act, something that's important to you or should be important to them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just chill out. Stop putting other people out. We're all on the planet. Like I said before, we're all on the planet together, and we have to learn to live with each other, and we all have to pitch in to not just get through this, but get through the rest of life. If we're going to survive as a species, this is like this issue is a species issue. It's not like an American thing or a Chinese thing. It's not a Fox thing. Issue.
Foxes are fine right now.
Yeah, 100%. And they're probably going to take over the Earth after the human race dies from coronavirus, right? It's dark humor, sorry. But no, I mean, it's a species issue, and if we're going to really survive as a species, we have to come together as a species and work through it and understand. Yeah, it sucks. Do I like staying in home all day? No.
Well, Michael does. He's an introvert, but I'm struggling because I used to meet 15 people a day. Now it's reduced.
I mean, I like working at home. That's been fun. I have a lot of opportunities to grow as an educator doing that. Right. But I get restless too, being an introvert. I like to go work out. I haven't worked out in a week. I've been doing yoga and whatever, but I mean, from my TV and watching on Amazon, and it's not the same. It's not the same. No, I mean, so. Yeah, I don't like it either, but I'm willing to do it for the better, for the greater good. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to focus on the greater good, and when we're scared, then we can't focus on the greater good. And if we can chill out, then we can focus on the greater good. So it's a matter of focusing on what can we do as individuals to get through this, but also to do no harm to the people around us. And I mean, this whole people going out and
Mosh pit, 100 people just jumping on each other.
Well, no, in grocery store, yes, that
Yeah.
too. But like in grocery stores, when they're freaking out, like I need eggs, I need toilet paper,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there's not a shortage of food, and if you take all the food and people can't go and buy food, then you're harming other people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Multiplied panic.
yeah, but chill out. We're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we can get through it.
That's a nice message. Michael Wilt, I would like to thank you for having been on episode number 255.
Thank you for having
of
me.
The Armin Show podcast, and bringing a lot and a whole added dimension that we haven't had on the show as of recently.
Nice.
Glad to have you on.
I'm glad to be on. Thank you.
And we are out. We have mugs here with water in them. Can you
Well,
tell
I
us a
have
little
coffee,
bit
but
about
yeah.
these mugs and coffee water?
Yeah,
also?
yes, I can. So these mugs are actually from my online store.
Great.
So I sell unicorn products, t-shirts, mugs,
I didn't know that.
obviously, pillows, blankets, etc. Yeah, so like this right here is the king of unicorns, and it says, one simply cannot expect a unicorn king to fart rainbows without his cup of coffee.
Huh.
Yes.
I thought you just got these. These are both yours?
No, yeah, I designed these. So I hired artists to create the graphics, and then I did the designs on the products.
That is way cool. I thought we were just going to say you got these mugs at a garage sale
No,
or something.
does it look like that? I
No,
mean,
like a
it's
garage sale, you can
oh,
get
okay.
good mugs.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought there
know,
might have
made
been a
them.
story like that.
Nope.
Oh, man.
Why would that be interesting?
Because you liked them. I thought you liked the color. Or you liked the
yeah.
donkey thing. What is it?
No, it is also unicorn.
Unicorn?
Yeah.
Take that. Coffee
He's-
helps. There's water in
farting.
my coffee helps cup.
He's farting too. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
He's farting rainbows, and it says coffee helps.
There's a theme there, and there's a lot of them. They're purple.
Yeah.
It's slightly, if it was a cow, there was a book called The Purple Cow by Seth Godin about getting attention with purple. You've got it. You're doing marketing great. 'Cause
That's
purple
exciting.
gets attention. Like, this is not common. If you looked in the wild, there was a purple animal,
That's exciting.
right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are there purple animals?
No. Not that I know of. What are your thoughts, Michael Wilt?
You know, I don't.
Straight to animals,
I'm
you
not
know?
a zoologist.
You're not a zoologist?
No.
Okay, sorry to let everybody down. I know I told you I was a zoologist, but complete disappointment here.
Did you say that? I don't remember
No,
you saying
I
that.
actually had not mentioned that yet. So, non-zoologist Michael Wilt, welcome. This is great. Okay, now I'm taking a drink of my non-coffee. It says coffee helps on the cup.
Well, because you know, coffee helps if you're farting rainbows.
Wow.
That's do you get it now?
Well,
If you're farting rainbows and you have coffee, well, I'm sorry. If you need to fart rainbows and you have coffee, then you can fart rainbows.
you know, it's a good cup.
You know what happens when you drink coffee, right?
I've never drank coffee, okay?
Okay.
In my existence, which would never be expected.
Gotcha.
But I've had a lot of hot chocolates, and they're great.
Oh.
Long live hot chocolates. Just saying. They are fabuloso.
Okay.
Like hot chocolates. Intelligentsia. No advertisement. But for the mugs, yes. That's
Yay.
the unicorn brand.
Do you want to know where you can get one
Frankly,
of
I was
these?
about to say, it's not common that I like to support creating stuff. I always say that. Where do you get these cup mugs?
You get them at www.unicornsandstuff.com.
Oh, it's great. It's easy.
Yeah, totally easy. And you can follow this on Facebook and on Instagram.
This is the best plug. We don't even have plugs yet on this show. So this is
Now
a good
you do.
plug.
Now you
Finally. This episode is sponsored by nothing, but we have mugs
Now
on
it's
it, so-
sponsored by my online store.
Mugs. Mugs. This is great.